Moving to another country in your 20s is like this really weird mix of freedom and uncertainty, because to me it feels like you're at an age where you can take risks, but at the same time you know the consequences of your decisions.
In January this year, I made the move from New Zealand to Sydney with argumentatively no idea what to expect, as I knew no one in the city and I had no job and no apartment lined up. The first week I was in Sydney was quite easily the most stressful week of my life to date, and I survived only due to the coffee and constant treats I was rewarding myself with for my suffering. Being from New Zealand, Sydney's hustle and bustle is overwhelming, and it would be even if I hadn't been in the situation I was in. So my favourite spot quickly became Centennial Park, which is just large enough that I can always find somewhere quiet to sit. I felt torn between action and inaction, and things being in my control versus completely out of my control. It was a really tough time, but after the first week, things took a massive turn for the better. So I thought we'd have a sit down today and a wee chat. The first 3 weeks or so that I was here, the first 4 even, passed in a blur. Like, I did not film virtually anything except my phone. There has been so much going on and it's hard to keep track of. But today I have come to the beautiful Centennial Park, because what better place to talk about what it's been like so far, what I am loving, why I moved, and everything amazing and dreadful about Sydney. So if you've watched my videos before, you'll know that I spent the last year travelling, and the funny thing about that is that I think at the end of the day I was looking for a place to call home as much as I wanted to explore new places as well. I find it really funny because a lot of people I spoke to while travelling wanted to move to New Zealand, or if not move, at least visit, and I absolutely agree with visiting, but so many people were confused when I said that I wanted to leave. And as many people in their 20s will know, there is a case of grass is greener on the other side itis. But additionally, New Zealand has so many cons, and whilst it's beautiful and I am very patriotic about it sometimes, in terms of actual living and what the opportunities are there, just no. The second I got over here, and even before I arrived, the amount of opportunities that there were in my field, or just in general, are insane. When I first got here, I think I said to quite a few people, no matter how hard I tried in New Zealand, in like a year, I couldn't do as much, even if I wanted to, as I could in, say, a week in Sydney. And whilst obviously I haven't been here that long, I have so many things I love about it already. I've not settled, to be honest. I still don't have my proper routine. I'm hoping to get it in place soon, but we'll see. But if you're thinking about moving here, I'm just going to talk about some of the specifics. So as a New Zealand citizen, we have indefinite working rights in Australia, so we don't even have to deal with visas. So unfortunately, I can't say anything about that. But for me, I had a decent amount of savings before I came here to cover me. A week of accommodation booked, just because I didn't want to have to stress about where I was sleeping. And the first day I was here, I went and got a mobile number, very important for jobs. I set up my bank accounts, although if you need the visa, maybe that's more problematic, I don't know. I just booked an appointment and went in to the bank. And I also applied for my TFN, which is your tax file number. It can take up to 4 weeks to get to you, so that's why I did it immediately. The second day I was here, I went to about 7 inspections, but the Sydney real estate market is heinous. You need so much information, as in if you don't have full-time employment, your contract with you, and like 2 or 3 references for like previous rentals you've done, you cannot get a place. It's actually insane. But obviously there are alternative options if you, say, don't want to live by yourself, which obviously a lot of people wouldn't. I'm just a bit weird and like my own space sometimes. There's a website called Flatmates, but I honestly did not have much success with it at all. I was actually looking in the Facebook groups, which is where I found my flat that I went to go look at on the 4th day, and I moved in right at the end of that week of accommodation that I had booked. which is a very smooth transition and I'm very grateful for. I'm in the sort of inner city, which is also amazing, not by the beach sadly. Still like great location, easy access to the public transport, and my flatmates are also pretty good as well, so I have no complaints. The food choices here as well, the cafes, the restaurants, obviously the coffee, like the choices are amazing. There is such a wide variety. The only complaint I have about Sydney at the moment is that the traffic is bad. Everyone here has said that, but I think that's any big city. And also, the weather has been bizarre since I got here. Like, I'm talking thunderstorms, lightning, like 41 degrees in the morning and then hailing in the afternoon. Like, I do not understand. I have been to the beach twice, and the first time it was so windy and choppy that they had closed the beach because the swell was so large. And the second time I got to the beach, I was in the water for 5 minutes, and then there was a thunderstorm that came over, and so everyone had to get out before it started pouring with rain, and there was the thunder and lightning and the chance of getting like electrocuted in the water or whatever it is. So apparently the weather should get better, but who knows. Apparently I just bring bad weather with me where I go, because I also had the flooding in Chiang Mai. So I know as well a lot of people have said that Sydney has a really high cost of living, which especially if you live in the eastern suburbs by the beach, I'm definitely going to agree with. But because I come from New Zealand, which also has a really high cost of living, to me, I actually haven't thought that it is that bad here at all. I actually think it's slightly cheaper in some areas with certain things than New Zealand is, which probably just says that New Zealand's actually like way worse than anyone realizes, including myself, but I don't think it's too bad. I've got salmon too many times, and so if I was really hard pressed, I wouldn't be able to eat salmon. So, but as I mentioned earlier, I have not picked up the camera much. Obviously now going to be my main focus again, because I love living here and I want to share that. And I think I never understood what people talk about with the value of leaving your hometown, because traveling gives you a insight, but it doesn't give you a new way of living, if that makes sense, in the same way that moving to another city and moving to another country and living there long term gives you, because obviously if you're there for a short time you are always still a tourist, whereas when you live somewhere you get familiar with everything, you start to understand it, and it becomes your home. So I am, to say the least, very excited for this new chapter, and I hope you enjoy following along with me. We'll see how I go, and there will always be more travel on the cards for me, because at the end of the day I love learning more than anything else. So there'll be a few trips this year, maybe, we'll see. But thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Doodles.